English language learners within our classrooms are all at different stages within their language acquisition journey, and it is up to us to fully support them as they navigate the English language as well as learning new grade level content. Here are some ways you can scaffold instruction to support these students. What is scaffolding? Scaffolding theory was first introduced in the late 1950s by Jerome Bruner, a cognitive psychologist. Scaffolding in the classroom is a temporary framework which consists of helpful interactions between the teacher and the student that enable them to do something beyond what they could do independently. Here are some benefits of scaffolded instruction. Students experience a supportive learning environment. Students feel free to ask questions, provide feedback, and support their peers. Teachers become facilitators of knowledge rather than content experts. Students take on a more active role in learning. And students are able to take ownership of the learning in their classroom as a community of learners. Scaffolding strategies for ELLs. Being an English language learner can bring many challenges while learning a content area. The information is new, the language is new, everything is unfamiliar. What can we do to make it more manageable for our ELLs? We can try scaffolds that will support our ELLs at each level of their language acquisition journey. You could try verbal scaffolds or procedural scaffolds. Verbal scaffolds. Model the think aloud. Slow your speech and enunciate. Reinforce contextual definitions. Simplify questions. Engage in read-alouds in which you model correct pronunciations. Procedural scaffolds. Provide explicit modeling through visuals, gestures, and realia. Allow for visual tools or organizers as students manipulate information. Use wait time when asking questions to give all students an opportunity to respond. Provide discussion prompts, sentence frames, to support discussions. Allow students to collaborate with other students often as they discuss the learning. Combining verbal and procedural scaffolds. Consider the lesson in this unit, New Scholarship on Ancient China. How can you make this more accessible to ELLs? Try simplifying the questions, reinforcing vocabulary after front-loading it, and providing explicit modeling. For example, this slide about sourcing evidence could become: sourcing evidence. In order to source a piece of evidence, we ask the following questions of the source. What claim does the author make? What evidence does the author use? Vocabulary. In this case, sourcing means determining the meaning and value of a primary or secondary source and document. This new slide has fewer questions and a vocabulary word box that will remind the student of an important vocabulary word during the lesson. You can read it out loud for students and give them some time to think it over before moving on to trying it with the class. You can also model the think aloud and provide sentence frames that will help students copy your way of answering. Slow your speech and enunciate, and allow students to work in pairs or small groups for discussion. Looking at this part of the text of Document 1 from the records of the Grand Historian, it can seem very intimidating to a student to tackle this. You could provide explicit modeling and try something like: Master Ho and Master Lu plotted together, saying, "The first emperor is by nature cruel and stubborn. He united the entire empire, and now that he has achieved his goal and fulfilled his desires, he believes that there has never been anyone like him." Reading the text out loud will help ELLs with pronunciation. Sourcing this document. What claim does the author make? What evidence does the author use? Make sure to use wait time after asking each question. Note that the text has been simplified without losing meaning, and the question posed have sentence frames to help students respond. For example, the author claims that the emperor is, or the author uses blank as evidence. I hope you will take time to try out some verbal and procedural scaffolds within your lessons to support English language learners. With practice, they will become second nature and routine for both you and your ELLs.